Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm taking a look at this beer that you voted for. That's right, earlier today I put pictures of all the beers I've got in for review at the moment onto my Instagram for people to vote on kind of what they want to see, and without a doubt this was the absolute favourite. A lot of other beers got a lot of other votes compared to what they went up against, but this one got me message after message saying just how good it is. So frankly, we're going to have to give it a go. Now, it's a bit inconvenient because, well, it's actually the freak hot day before Easter and it's about 20 plus degrees out there, and well, this is a chocolate milk stout. So maybe not absolutely ideal, but to be honest, I've been pretty desperate to get into this one ever since it arrived, and I just haven't found the right time for whatever reason. So today seems like a great day to do it. What is it? Well, it's from Brew York. It is their Tonkoko Milk Stout, and sorry, I think earlier I called it a chocolate milk stout. I don't know where I got that from. There is a lot of information on the back of this can, so I don't want to read it, so let's get straight in. Before I do, here is a look at the can. Right, let's get this open. Oh, that's lively. Lively, lively, lively. That's very lively. That's not gone very well at all. Let's let that settle down a minute. Not sure if that was me or the beer. I've had a fairly good luck pouring so far, but this one hasn't gone my way. While it is settling though, I think we can get some aromas out of it. Let's see what's going on in here. It's good if you don't get it all over your nose. Ooh, it's okay. So it's obviously a very typical deep dark stout aroma, but there's a few other bits in there that... So there's definitely coffee in there, no question. I know that it's called Tonkoko after the Tonkoka bean, I think it is, but I don't really know what that is, so that could well be what I'm smelling. Oh, there is a lick of chocolate in the back there. Kind of a darker, deep chocolate note. Touch of vanilla. And quite a bit of a boozy finish, but not massively. It's a bit... Yeah, it's got a bit of a boozy chocolate truffle thing going on. That does smell really good. Right, let's get the rest of the can in. It's only 4.3%, so I'm not expecting the same kind of big boozy lick that we got out of that Brewdog Choco Libre hot chocolate stout a few weeks back. I'm hoping for something a bit more refined, a bit more subtle and a bit more easy drinking, but let's find out. Right. Cheers. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. That's got a lot going on. Oh, that's good. It really does have a huge myriad of flavours in it. Right, let's see what we can pick out. Initial tiny bit of bitterness on the front of the tongue, which is quickly joined with kind of a fruity, it's like a dark forest fruits kind of bit, just right on the, you know, that kind of tart berry thing. And then the middle phase is very much sweeping sweet coffee, is what I would describe as. Sweet coffee and chocolate. It's not quite mocha, it's kind of, they're discernibly different notes. It's a very sweet coffee and then a very rich, deep chocolate, but there's only a little bit of it, if that makes sense. It's subtle, even though it is quite a bold flavour in itself. The finishing notes and the aftertaste are just that kind of pure, what I suspect is the Tonkoka bean thing. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but for me it tastes like very sweet coffee, and with just a lick of vanilla. Not synthetic, they're not like a vanilla latte, like they're separate. Again, they're separate elements, they're not merged into one thing. Touch of licorice as well, I think, in the back there. A touch of licorice coming through. I'm conscious about how quickly I'm drinking that, so let's take a look at the can and see what it's meant to be. Right, Brew York Tonkoko Milk Stout, 4.3%. Says, Milk Stout, the beer so good it launched a range of beers. Tonkoko is our multi-award winning milk stout infused with decadent amounts of hand-toasted coconut, Belgian sourced cacao nibs, Madagascan vanilla and Tonka beans. Tonka beans was the word I was trying to find earlier. South American aromatic delicacy with marzipan-like character. Many have rightly described it as like a liquid bounty, but we think it's even better than that. That's interesting. I really like coconut, and it's not what I picked up on. So The cacao nibs, the vanilla, and the tonka bean. It says it with a marzipan. Like I was getting sweet coffee, but anyway. But I wasn't getting coconut, so I'll be interested to see if I can pick any of that out when I'm going back. And this didn't mention the licorice, which is also interesting, but let's see. So it says hops, it's CTZ T90, so an experimental one, I think. Malts, pale, flaked barley, flaked oats, crystal 150, crystal 400. They sound like, I won't say what they sound like. Torrefied wheat, chocolate, and roast barley. Okay, so there is chocolate in it, absolutely. Oh, of course there is because of the cacao nib. There's a nice little thing on the back which indicates its character, split between hop, fruit, sweet, mouthfeel, bitter and malt. It's very sweet, very malty, almost complete mouthfeel and almost complete on fruit, with kind of halfway on bitter and not a lot on hop. I kind of agree with that. There's a little bit of all of them in there, but the malt, certainly the malt and the sweet are taking precedence. Fruit, yeah, there is a bit at the start. Ingredients are water, barley, wheat, coconut, oats, lactose, cacao nib, hops, tonka beans, vanilla and yeast. Brewed and canned at Brew York Craft Brewery and Tap Room, Walmgate, York. It'll come as no surprise that Brew York are from York. Right, that's interesting. I mean, I don't have any previous experience with a tonka bean, so trying to pull that tasting note out was pretty difficult. With that in mind, knowing that it's a bit like marzipan, I wonder if anything else now will start to come to light. It's funny, you read these things and then you think everything changes, but yeah, they're not wrong. I mean, I'm not a big marzipan fan and I don't eat it very often. As a result, it's not something I'm really looking for. I do really like coconut and I like coconut infused beers. Is it there? Yeah, it absolutely is. But the collective of the marzipan and the coconut for me is turning into kind of a fruited light roast coffee with a huge amount of sugar with it, if that makes any sense at all. It's kind of got that characteristic for me rather than being those individual elements. But that is not a bad thing because together they work incredibly well. And that is an exceptional beer. The licorice I mentioned, I think, is the toasted coconut. It's the kind of that burn deep part of it. That might be some roasted malts in there as well, which that just add to that experience. But I definitely don't feel wrong in saying licorice. It's just a different interpretation of what's in there, and it's not what's actually in here. So ultimately, they are correct, but that's what I'm getting from it. Well, I'm very happy to have finally got into this. It did not disappoint. That was truly a brilliant beer. I now have to go and find a load of other products that are based off of this that they do because, well, I think there's a lot of opportunity for interesting beers off this basis and it sounds like they've already done quite a few. So that's everything from me. Thank you very much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like it if you haven't already, subscribe if you would be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.